All right, hi Miss Buckley. I still haven't got the corrections back yet, so my written assignment. But it's around like 8 o'clock right now, and I'll have class tomorrow by till 12, so it'll be past like the deadline due date. So I at least wanted to turn in the video reflection. I mean, on my paper, and what I kind of judged or what I think needs to be improved from what we've learned in class so far. So I definitely think there's a lot of improvements in the paper with which I wrote on Sir Alex Ferguson's speech. For me, it was really easy to write because that was something I was interested in, and that the directions were very clear, just the format and how to do it. So I don't think I struggled too much on that part. I definitely think there was improvements for me, especially with the transition from the MLA format in high school to the APA format now, which we're doing in college. I think a lot of times when I was looking at my paper, there was a lot of first person in it. So definitely I'll have to work on just the transition to third person and working on like the corrections I made from that. And then another thing that I can gauge, which I really think I need to work on, is the transition as well. I saw a lot of my paragraphs. They had good content in it. It was good quality information. But when I switched talking about the next topic, I felt like I just jumped into it. I didn't have the proper transition words for it, or I guess the correct wording to like transition my paragraph so everything flowed mode smoothly. And then also, I think for my paper, or the video reflection on my paper, for me, probably was like a little bit of the grammar errors that I saw that I definitely probably could work on and getting better at least. I know I went over it a couple of times, but there's still always things that, with the punctuation and the grammar side of it, and also with the first person, also as kind of what I talked about before, with speaking in the third person, which I definitely need to work on. So right now, those were probably the three things that I kind of found that were pretty major or something that I could find right away from my paper. Of course, I can do more once I'm able to get the corrections in. So this is kind of just I'm just turning this in right now just in case I won't be able to get the corrections in by tonight. And then, so the second thing I want to talk about is kind of like for my future writing. So for the essay that's coming up in the rough draft that's due the October 4th, and kind of comparing the contrast, what I'm doing, which is comparing contrast cultures, in regards to the healthcare. I think for me, this is gonna be like probably like my first big college paper that I need to write, especially because it's new material that I don't know much about, but I'm kind of about to learn right now. I think for paper and writing wise, for me, something that I'm going to really need to improve on is citing quotes and kind of referencing my sources. I think I struggle with that a little bit. Kind of like where to find the quotes and where to put in the APA citations and kind of like all that goes with it in the correct format. I think for me, that's something I struggled with in high school and kind of something that I need to get better on as I come into college as well. But the sites are really helpful, and also the textbook helps me a lot too. So that's something that's helping me a lot. Also, what I need to work on is the outline and making outlines, and kind of like having a structure or a template to base my paper on. I think it's a lot easier when you have something like an outline, and because you're able just to flow. I think right now something I'm gonna struggle with the paper is that it's not the material we're going to be finding a lot of it, and it's not going to. We're having to be finding the material a lot of the times, and it's not just like clear cut almost in a sense. I'll be taking the material from a lot of sources and then putting it into paper. So you'll be finding a little bit of writing and then finding more in the writing. So I think having an outline is a great way to just go through, and so you can just kind of just start typing the paper and just have a good flow to it. I think also that what I would need to work on too with my paper skills is again with the transition and just working on the transition words to use and how to say the right things at the right time instead of just putting information in without not really knowing the proper flow and proper transition for the words. And then also again with the grammar and me working on the correct format and just kind of with the APA and like with the third person and the correct grammar with the words, punctuation, and where should I put commas, where should I put semicolons, something that along those lines that I also need to work on and get better at. So that's it right now, I think, for me. And of course, if you have any more questions, and also on the revision process, you can just let me know. Thank you.